Hot take. Most RAG failures are not retrieval failures. They are prompt failures wearing a retrieval costume.
Yes, teams obsess over embeddings, chunk sizes, and re-rankers, then hand the model a vague prompt and wonder why the answer drifts.
So when we say what belongs in a RAG prompt, we do not mean a magic paragraph. We mean the minimum instructions and context that let the model use retrieved evidence correctly.
Exactly. A good RAG prompt tells the model what job it is doing, what evidence it has, how to treat that evidence, what output shape to produce, and what to do when the evidence is weak or conflicting.
That sounds basic, but the stakes are not basic. If you get this wrong, the model sounds confident, ships the wrong answer, and now your retrieval stack gets blamed for a prompt design bug.
Concrete example. Say you are building internal doc search for engineers. The user asks, how do I rotate API keys without downtime? You retrieve 3 chunks, 1 current runbook, 1 outdated migration note, and 1 policy doc. If the prompt does not tell the model to prefer current procedural guidance and cite uncertainty, it may blend all 3 into a fake process.
So what actually belongs in the prompt first?
Start with task framing, not broad persona fluff, a precise job. For example, answer the user using only the supplied documents, prioritize operational steps over background, and say when the documents do not support a safe answer.
That phrase, using only the supplied documents, sounds obvious.
No, because evidence has structure. The prompt should tell the model what the retrieved items are, how they are labeled, and what signals matter. Recency, source type, section titles, maybe confidence or rank. Otherwise, the model sees a bag of text, not organized evidence.
So the prompt is partly an interface contract between retrieval and generation.
Perfect way to say it. If retrieval returns ranked chunks with metadata, the prompt should expose that metadata in a form the model can use. If your retriever knows document date and source authority, but your prompt hides them, you threw away useful signal at the last mile.
Give me another scenario where that changes the answer.
Customer support bot. A user asks whether a refund is allowed after 30 days. Retrieval finds a public help article from last year, a current policy in the admin manual, and a regional exception note. If the prompt says answer from the most authoritative current policy and mention applicable exceptions, you get a defensible answer. If not, you get a cheerful but legally risky mashup.
This is where people lose trust fast. One bad answer, and everyone says the bot is unreliable.
Right, and reliability is often prompt visible. The prompt should specify failure behavior. If evidence conflicts, summarize the conflict. If evidence is insufficient, ask a clarifying question, or say you cannot confirm. Silence on failure behavior invites hallucination.
That feels almost like evaluation criteria embedded into the prompt.
It should be. Good prompts encode what a successful answer must look like. For debugging, that is gold. You can inspect a bad answer and ask, did retrieval miss the source, or did the prompt fail to constrain source use, ranking, uncertainty, or output format?
So when a team says, our RAG quality is bad, your first question is not what embedding model are you using?
My first question is, show me the exact prompt with the retrieved context inserted, not the template in a doc, the real assembled prompt.
What kind of bugs?
3 common ones. First, context overload. Too many chunks with no instruction for selection, so the model averages across noise. Second, missing provenance. The model cannot tell current policy from stale notes. Third, underspecified output. You wanted a direct answer with citations and caveats, but the prompt only asked for a helpful response.
Let us make that concrete in debugging.
Suppose your eval set has a question. Which database version is approved for production? Retrieval returns the right standards doc as rank 1 and an old incident review as rank 2. The answer cites the old version. That is not necessarily a retriever miss. The prompt may have failed to say approved standards outrank narrative incident documents, or failed to require citing the chosen source.
So, evaluation should score more than answer correctness.
Yes. Score evidence use. Did the answer rely on the right chunk? Did it mention uncertainty when sources conflicted? Did it ignore unsupported details? These are prompt-sensitive behaviors, and they tell you whether to tune retrieval, prompt design, or both.
There is also a political angle here. Teams that measure only final answer accuracy can reward the wrong subsystem.
Absolutely. The retriever team gets pressured to overfit because generation is leaking. Then you add more chunks, bigger contexts, fancier re-rankers, and costs rise while trust stays flat. Winners separate retrieval quality from prompt discipline.
Give me one practical prompt ingredient programmers can add tomorrow, without turning this into a giant template.
Add a short evidence policy, something like use the highest authority and most recent sources among the provided documents. Do not combine conflicting instructions into one answer. If sources disagree, state the conflict and name the deciding source if one exists. That is compact, testable, and changes behavior.
And that avoids the trap of copy-paste prompt recipes because it comes from the failure modes of your system.
Exactly. What belongs in a RAG prompt is not magic wording. It is the operational rules your model needs to turn retrieved text into a trustworthy decision.
So the prompt is where your system declares what counts as evidence, what counts as authority, and what counts as honesty.
And if you do not declare those things, the model will improvise them for you. That is the quietest way to lose a RAG system.